Hey, what's going on, everybody? Ryan Newpel here, episode 206 of the Knup Sports Show. Man, we're flying, getting up in the 200s here in episodes, so that's awesome. Hope you all are doing well. Thank you for taking a few minutes and listening to this awesome show. Hey, first of all, how do you like my new background? I got a little sports background behind me finally. I don't just have a white wall, so got some memorabilia, some cool things behind me. I'm talking sports, so let's get some sports behind me. Someday I'll go through and talk through kind of what we have going on back here, but for now, enjoy the visuals. Man, today, as of this recording, it's Thursday, September 7th, and that is NFL Day. So happy NFL Day. Thursday Night Football kicks off tonight. Detroit Lions, Kansas City Chiefs. I'm super excited for that game and for the whole season to be here finally. Okay, but we're not here to talk about NFL. We're here to talk to another great professional in the industry, as we always do. So today I have a special guest with me. I got Alan Casey of AllSported. Alan, how are you, my friend?
I'm great, Ryan. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Love to have you. I'm excited you're on. How you doing, my friend? You doing well?
We're doing well. I know we're not here to talk NFL, like you said, but I'm equally excited for the season to kick off tonight. And as a long-suffering Jets fan, I'm 10x more excited than I normally am. So
it could be their year. It could be their year. I mean, there's a lot of hype around the Jets, and I think they're going to have a good season. Aaron Rodgers there for them, so that should be fun to watch. So, props to you. Good luck with the season.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Well, Alan, I want to hear a little bit about yourself. Tell me a little bit about you, your career. We'll get into AllSported here in a little bit, but I want to hear about your past and kind of what led you up to where you are today.
Yeah, sure. So, I think basically, a big sports fan, big sports player. I played every sport growing up, and I still playing the last 15 years in the top basketball league in Ireland. So that's kind of what brought me to sports betting. I kind of done a degree in accounting, and was looking at jobs and got an offer from BetDAC, a sports betting exchange, along with a couple of others, and I thought, oh well, if I have to go do accounting every day, I'd rather it be at a sports company where at least there might be some sports on in the background. So that's where my career started off. I quickly got out of accounting, and they moved me around that company, a few different roles, but I've kind of did a little bit of compliance, a little bit of accounting, and then found my way to the commercial team, where I ended up looking after all the main API players, so your big market makers, liquidity providers on the exchanges, so some of your biggest syndicates in the world. So great exposure to kind of some of the smartest people in the game. So learned a lot from that. And then from there, so 7 years there, and I guess 4 years now with AllSported. Started off as a joint venture with Bannock Technology. So I know I've been in the news there again. Following, I think they were taken over by PointsBet and now moved again to Fanatics. So they stepped away when PointsBet came in, and we've kind of moved to just a fully owned entity ourselves now in Ireland the last 2 years. So it's been good fun, a good challenge, and things are starting to go well for us. So it's great.
That's amazing. Congrats on the great career so far. Lots to come still, I'm sure. But that's amazing. Sounds like you've had some great experiences, and so AllSported. So let's dive into that a little bit and talk about, for those listening that may not know what AllSported is and what you guys do. Why don't you give the, 1,000-foot elevator pitch view of what AllSported is?
Yeah. So basically, what we wanted to do, horse racing is a complex sport. Mainly, we've got rights holders to figure out. It's a hard sport to kind of price and model and to trade. So AllSported just basically wants to simplify it for bookmakers to make it an easy product to take. So what we've got in our product is basically everything you need to offer horse racing to your customers, be it that the pre-race content, your tipping content, obviously your odds, your race day data, which is obviously very important, your race off, non-runners, jockey changes, etc., and then results. So it's an all-in-one package. We've integrated, I guess, all the main data providers, so that basically one API, one integration, you can get everything you need.
That's amazing. That's really cool. Man, you're gonna be a little out of my league as I don't talk much horse racing on this show, so some of the terms I could be like, "Uh-oh, what are we talking about here?" But I'm a little bit versed, but so don't, just bear with me as I try to keep up with
No
the
problem.
talk, we go from there. Can you talk about some of the partners that you guys are working with currently, at all?
Yeah, I think the biggest customer we've kind of have on our books is Betway, and they've kind of been a good case study. You will be
Yeah,
aware of an American presence as well. So
yeah.
we kind of started off small with them in South African horse racing, just helping them, a big international company. They have different feeds coming in from everywhere, but they needed a more localized product for the South African market because they price horses a bit differently to, I guess, the UK market. So we were able to come in and give them a more localized product. They've seen, I guess, tremendous success with that product. So then we've kind of expanded what we do with them. We started in greyhounds earlier on this year for all their worldwide sites, and again, I think they're just having record month after record month. So we are expanding that relationship further and further. So that's been really positive. We've a couple of others great customers that have been with us from the beginning. Um, and yeah, it's so I guess 4 years up and running, but I think the last year and a half has really seen kind of go from strength to strength, and having a customer like Betway come in and being able to prove ourselves there is just kind of showing like, yeah, the product's really good, and we can kind of speak with confidence now when we know the benefits we can bring to any customer looking to, I guess, improve their horse racing product.
That's cool. That's awesome. So educate me a little bit here and the audience possibly. Um, here in the US, I hear the term fixed odds quite a bit when it in relation to horse racing betting. Explain that a little bit and maybe, I guess how that's different from some other type of odds and maybe some pros and cons of fixed odds and especially as it relates to the US, because we hear that a lot around here.
Yeah, so in the US, you would be used to kind of the pari-mutuel wagering, or like the tote systems that are in existence all over the world. But I think fixed odds has been, I guess, restricted in the US.
Mm.
So with your totes, you're betting blind into a pool, and then after it's settled based on, I guess, how many people have wagered on that horse, and it's just divided up, and it does come back in and around the odds, but I guess you're not betting in with any certainty into the odds. So fixed odds, the main benefits is you know what price you're getting. Also, you can, with a sport like horse racing, it's important to see where the money's moving. NFL, big thing. There's been big line movement. The sharp money in Vegas is moving the line this way, and that can be a great indicator as to what might happen on the pitch that night. Horse racing is the exact same. You see market moves late is I guess when a lot of the sharp money is down, but
Mm.
also you can follow the market. So having fixed odds would offer that kind of extra perspective and an interesting layer as you're seeing like a dynamic market moving. I think that would be the major benefit to adding fixed odds
Yeah.
racing for the US, is just because with a customer base who's already very aware of how markets move, it'd just be a more compelling thing. People like you talking on shows, you could say this horse was 16-1, now it's 4-1 for the Kentucky Derby based on what's
Yeah.
happened today. So it just adds more talking points and makes it easier to understand for a casual better.
Very cool. Very cool. So horse racing in general, what's the interest level from a betting side in horse racing? I mean, compare it to an NFL or an NBA or a soccer. I mean, I think it's a popular thing to bet on, right? I don't bet on it personally, but I also know, let's say from a content side, we put up a lot of content. When we put up horse racing content, we get a lot of eyeballs on that content. And so to speak a little bit how horse racing fits in from an interest level on the betting side.
Yeah, well, I think from a European perspective, and particularly in the UK and Ireland, horse racing was the lifeblood of bookmakers for years. It's only recently that football or soccer has kind of overtaken it, so it's still number two sport by a long way from everything else for the kind of UK, Irish, and European customers. Australia, big sport, but even in the US, like you've had Kentucky Derby is well over 100 years. You have, it's horse racing and horse race betting has been around for such a long time. I think it's an engaging sport to bet on. I think, the fact that, you're making a pick and you get to watch it play out, and it kind of gives you that kind of like, the feeling, oh, I got that one right, and it's like people can come up with their own, you can come up with your own way of making picks. You can come up with own, everyone you can have your own opinion, and then you can, I guess, back it, and then enjoy it when you're right. So I think it's one of the oldest betting sports around. I mean, you can't have horse racing without betting, and I think that's why it kind of appeals to the wider audience. Like someone who's never been to a horse race before, they'll go to the racetrack, they can pick on their favorite name, pick on favorite colors, and they can get as much enjoyment out of it as, a seasoned pro.
That might be, I always like to take a quote from the show and put it up. That might be the quote I take. You can't have horse racing without betting. I love that quote. I mean, but seriously, it really drives the sport, right?
It is, and I think that people have lost sight of that over the years. And it's, I think in the UK at the minute, there's big back and forth around affordability checks, and but even like in Ireland, horse racing is like, it's a multi-billion euro industry for the country. So I mean, because breeding horses, all the rest, and none of that exists without sports betting. And yes, it should be done responsibly, but and also the commercial models need to be fair so that everybody in the game is benefiting. And that's kind of one of the main goals of AllSported, is to have this compliant product, making it easy for sportsbook to adopt, because costs will keep going up. It's harder to price. There's a lot of sophisticated customers now. You've arbors, you've all these things going in that makes it a harder product to offer, but we want to make it simple. We want to get money back to rights holders, because then that feeds back to tracks, to owners, to trainers, stable staff. And it's a great sport. People saying it's in decline, but it's been around. It's been around for so long. But hopefully, with products like ours, and just I think with people who actually want to see the game do well, that we can see the sport thrive for many years to come.
Amazing. Well, you transitioned me perfectly. I wanted to transition back into AllSported and talk a little bit about you guys and where you're headed. So what does the future look like for AllSported? What types of things do you have in the works, and where are you guys headed from a company side?
Yeah, so the big thing for us has been we've kind of now integrated, I guess, the two main horse racing providers in Europe would be the Press Association and the SIS. They're kind of the main race day data, or like your official data suppliers. So we were integrating both of their products. So we have race and post pre-race content. So for all your tipping stuff, your predictors, the line-by-line comment on horses. So we've kind of taken out the integration pain for someone to offer horse racing, and then also then our odds feed, which is backed by TX odds, which is it's the fastest odds feed in the game. So it's a great product. We've done all the integrations. Our tech is second to none. So our goal is to just add, I guess, more customers, but also bring in more territory. So we're trying to prove to rights holders that by switching us on, the bookmakers will have a better product. They'll turn over more, which then feeds back to the rights holders. So we kind of want to be able to go out and not only package up like all the APIs in one place, but also all the rights, and that we can on-sell. So if I go to customer now, they still need a contract with, UK rights holder, US rights holder, Irish rights holder, PA, SIS. So the goal for us will be get it to the point where we've already proven, how much we bring to the game, how we can increase turnover, and then let everybody get everybody's product in ours, and we can on-sell it. They all get their cut, and it just making it easier for a customer to offer horse racing, because people like you, not big horse racing punters, but even there's 5 or 6 countries in the world where horse racing is a big thing. Other countries, it's an interesting product. It's just an add-on product to sportsbook. So I don't think horse racing has done a good job of appealing to those sorts of customers by nature of how complex it is to offer. So AllSported, simplify it, I would say, get horse racing in more shop windows all over the world, and making sure that money then flows back to the right place so we can keep supporting the people in the game.
I love it. So I like opening it up to what you need help with. So there may be somebody listening to this show that, can help you in some area or help your company in some area. What would be your ask for somebody listening to this that may be interested in what you guys are doing? What do you need? What are you guys looking for? What do you need help with? What do you want our audience to do to help you?
Well, the best sportsbooks customers, keep us in mind. We're kind of a startup. We're backed luckily by TX Odds and their tech stack that, as I said, is second to none. They've been in the online gaming industry since it started, basically 1999. So for us, we're just trying to get the name out there now. We've seen good success with our product, but the main ask is to get rights holders on board. US is a bit tricky because it's working really well there. The pool betting, the prize funds in the US are great. So that there is, people, there's a fear there that it'll cannibalize the already what's working. But I guess, as I touched on earlier, I think it can just add to it. If done right, if the right commercial terms are there, we can eliminate some of the greed that's existed elsewhere in horse racing around the world. That it can really be a nice add-on, and then those prize funds can go up even further, and just make it a better sport. So we're happy. We've already talked to kind of loads of different companies that kind of don't necessarily align to what we're doing, but have the same vision of growing horse racing. So kind of our ownership group and our backers, we're all horse racing owners. We're passionate about the game, and we want to see it survive long term. So all ears, reach out to me. Let's just talk, whether it goes anywhere, but with the view to let's try and let's try make this sport as good as we can possibly make it, and make sure that it's around for another 100 years plus.
Alan Casey of AllSported. Thank you so much, Alan. Alan, how would people get a hold of you if they want to email or get a hold? What's the best channel to get a hold of you personally?
Yeah, I think LinkedIn. I think you have me, Ryan, on LinkedIn. We have our website, allsported.com. There's email there. That's probably the best two ways to get me.
I love LinkedIn. Yeah, it's definitely a channel to communicate in business. So that's awesome, Alan.
My Twitter feed is just going to be Jets bragging as we march our way to the Super Bowl this year.
Let's hope, right? Let's hope they're bragging. Yeah, bragging or disappointment, one of the two.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Any last words? Anything we missed out on that you wanted to touch on, Alan?
No, happy out, Ryan. Just really appreciate you having me on. It's been great to catch up with you again, and hope to see you soon.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Alan. We'll put all those links in the show notes. Until next time, we'll talk to you soon. Thanks, bud.
Thanks, bye.
All right, that was Alan Casey of AllSported, episode 206. I hope you enjoyed that. We got a little horse racing education for some of us not so educated horse racing fans. AllSport is doing some cool things in this space, so I urge you to go out, check them out. Get a hold of Alan, great guy to talk to. I'll put his LinkedIn in the show notes so you can get out there and chat with him as well. Urge you all to do that. Okay, hope you enjoy football tonight. Hey, I'm going Chiefs to win by 10 tonight. Now, I've been going back and forth a little bit. I thought maybe the Lions were going to compete, but then my brain just keeps saying, no, it's Mahomes, it's Chiefs. They're well tested. They're ready to go. They're going to win by at least a touchdown. I'll go them winning by 7-10. So I'm taking the Chiefs to cover tonight. Hey, I'm not a professional handicapper, so don't come back to me if it doesn't win, but that's what I'm betting on tonight. So enjoy the game, enjoy football. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Ryan Nupel. You can find me out on LinkedIn, Twitter, wherever you want, KNUP or Ryan Nupel. All right, until next time, thank you. Stay safe, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.